Welcome to Minna no Nihongo Lesson 10. In this lesson, we'll learn how to talk about where people and things are in Japanese. You'll discover the difference between あります and います, two essential verbs used to express existence, and learn how to describe locations using expressions like next to, in front of, and near. These grammar patterns are used every day when giving directions, describing places, or simply talking about your surroundings. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to ask and answer questions about where people and objects are naturally and confidently in Japanese. Let's get started. Let's begin with one of the most important grammar patterns in Japanese, あります and います. Both verbs mean there is or there are, but they are used in different situations. Use あります when talking about things that are not alive, such as buildings, parks, telephones, books, or furniture. On the other hand, use います for living things, including people and animals. The sentence pattern is very simple. Place に noun があります or place に noun がいます. Here, the particle に marks the location where something or someone exists, while が introduces the person or object that exists. Looking at the examples, ビル, 公園, and 電話 are all non-living things, so they use あります. Meanwhile, 女の人 and 子供 are people, so they use います. Understanding this distinction is essential because these two verbs appear constantly in everyday Japanese conversations. Now that we've learned the difference between あります and います, let's see how to ask questions using these verbs. There are two important question words to remember. The first is 何, which means what. When you're asking about objects or things at a particular location, use the pattern 何がありますか? For example, あそこに何がありますか? This means what is over there. The second question word is 誰, which means who. Since it refers to people, it is naturally used together with います. For example, あそこに誰がいますか? This means who is over there. Notice that both questions use the particle が. That's because we're asking about the thing or person that exists at a location. A simple way to remember this grammar is objects or things. Use 何がありますか? People or animals. Use 誰がいますか? Once you know whether you're talking about a living or non-living thing, choosing the correct question pattern becomes much easier. Besides saying that something exists, we often need to describe exactly where it is. Japanese uses a group of words called relative location words to express positions in relation to another object or place. Four of the most common expressions are 隣, meaning next to, 前, meaning in front of, 右, meaning to the right, and 左, meaning to the left. To use these expressions, follow the pattern noun 1の location に. Here, the particle の connects the reference object to the location word, while に marks where something or someone exists. For example, スーパーの隣に喫茶店があります. This means there is a cafe next to the supermarket. You can easily replace 隣 with 前, 右, or 左 to describe different positions. Learning these expressions will help you give directions, describe buildings, and explain locations much more naturally in everyday Japanese conversations. After learning how to describe locations, the next step is learning how to ask where something or someone is. In Japanese, we use the question word どこ, which simply means where. When asking about the location of an object or place, the basic pattern is noun wa doko ni arimasu ka? For example, ミラーさんの家はどこにありますか? This means, where is Miller-san's house? Since a house is a non-living object, we use あります. If you're asking about a person or an animal, simply replace あります with います. For example, 山田さんはどこにいますか? means, where is Yamada-san? You may also see questions like, エレベーターの前はどこですか? Here, we're asking where a particular place is, so the sentence ends with ですか instead of ありますか? A simple way to remember this grammar is, use どこにありますか for things and places. Use どこにいますか for people and animals. This is one of the most common question patterns in Japanese, and is especially useful when asking for directions or looking for someone. So far, we've learned how to describe exact positions like next to or in front of something. We can also describe locations on a broader scale by mentioning a city or a nearby landmark. For example, ミラーさんの家は大阪にあります. This means Miller-san's house is in Osaka. Here, the particle ni indicates the city where the house is located. We can also use landmarks to help someone understand a location more easily. For instance, 公園の前にあります means it's in front of the park. Another useful expression is 近く, which means near. The sentence 学校の近くにあります means it's near the school. Notice that both 前 and 近く follow the same grammar pattern we learned earlier. Noun no location, ni. Once you become familiar with these expressions, you'll be able to give much clearer directions and describe places more naturally in everyday Japanese conversations. Great job! Let's take a moment to review what we've learned in Lesson 10. First, remember to use あります when talking about the existence of objects, buildings, and places. Use います when talking about people and animals because they are living things. Next, we learned the question words 何 and 誰. Use 何 when asking what exists and 誰 when asking who is at a particular location. We also learned several important relative location expressions, including 隣, 前, 右, and 左. These help us describe positions more precisely. Finally, we learned how to ask where someone or something is using どこ and どこに. These grammar patterns are essential for everyday communication in Japanese. Whether you're asking for directions, describing your neighborhood, or talking about where people and things are, you'll use them again and again. Try making your own sentences using these patterns and practice them in real conversations whenever you have the chance. In the next lesson, we'll continue building your Japanese grammar step by step. See you in Lesson 11!